Hi, it's Michelle from Lab Muffin Beauty Science, Chemistry PhD, and Human Calculator. I recently did a video on hand sanitizers and I got a lot of questions. And even though I tried to answer a lot of questions, I think a lot of those answers got lost in the many comments. So I thought I'd put everything into a video. I've put the link to the first video in the description. It covers what you need for a hand sanitizer to be effective, the sorts of ingredients that won't work, examples of bad hand sanitizer recipes and why they're bad, and some extra tips on using hand sanitizers correctly so your hands will actually be sanitized and you're not just wasting what is now liquid gold. Watch that video first, the link is below. If you want more information on COVID-19 in general, please refer to the World Health Organization's website and other reputable organizations like the CDC. As usual, if you like this sort of content talking about the science behind beauty products, press the like, you can subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. More about issues with DIY hand sanitizers. First off, I wanted to elaborate a bit on the warnings about making your own hand sanitizer. I think a lot of people interpreted the fact that I was saying that a recipe could theoretically work was the same as me recommending that you make a particular recipe. I don't recommend making your own hand sanitizer over using a commercially prepared one or just washing your hands. All of this is for educational and harm reduction purposes. If you're going to make a hand sanitizer despite all these warnings, I want it to be theoretically capable of doing what it's meant to do. So again, only a commercially prepared hand sanitizer is to some degree guaranteed to be effective and safe. Make DIY recipes at your own risk. Some of the issues that people generally don't take into account when making their own hand sanitizers are the fact that alcohol evaporates. And even if you're quite experienced at formulating, you can still make measurement errors. In a properly formulated product, they will re-measure the alcohol concentration at the end to make sure whatever you put in is what you actually get out. Pharmaceutical and cosmetic grade ingredients are generally safe to repeatedly put on your hands. Food grade is also generally safe. Anything else is a bit of a crapshoot. The only recipes that I endorse are the ones that the World Health Organization has put out, and even then only if it's made by someone who knows what they're doing. Can I add this particular ingredient to my hand sanitizer? When you're making a recipe that has other ingredients apart from what the World Health Organization has recommended, you are running into a bunch of risks. These ingredients are water, alcohol, glycerin or glycerol, and hydrogen peroxide. A lot of people have asked me if they can add oils to their hand sanitizers. So if you're using something oil-based, essential oils or vitamin E oil, these oils do not mix with water. In a properly formulated product, you have to add solubilizers to make sure the oil actually disperses and doesn't just sit on top. And so it's possible you'll squirt out a handful that is mostly oil and only a tiny bit of alcohol, and then even though overall the whole thing has a safe amount of alcohol, a particular amount that you dispense may not. I've also been asked about adding moisturizing ingredients to protect your hands from drying out. The World Health Organization recipes use glycerin as the moisturizer. If you use other moisturizing ingredients, you can run into problems. So for example, aloe vera gel is biological matter that can go off inside your hand sanitizer. Aloe vera gel products do often contain preservatives, but once it's mixed into a hand sanitizer, it might not be preserved enough, even with a really high alcohol content. There's also been a lot of people saying that aloe vera gel balled up inside their recipe and they don't know what to do. Even if you don't see a large amount balled up in your recipe, you can have small amounts balled up that you don't quite notice. And so if you get a lump of aloe vera gel, again, you're going to be dispensing something that is less than the required amount of alcohol onto your hand, even if the overall product has enough alcohol. If you've added some random moisturizer into your hand sanitizer, you might have any combination of these problems. And I feel like this goes without saying, but don't try to sell your DIY recipe. The regulations around the world generally treat hand sanitizer as a therapeutic good, and so it's regulated differently from normal cosmetics. Where is the link to the alcohol calculator? It's in the description of that video and of this video. If you expand the description, scroll down a bit, there it is. How do you use the alcohol calculator? So once you've clicked the link, a new tab or window will open. You might need to sign into your Google account. Then click Make a Copy. You'll have a spreadsheet. Look down the bottom for the one called Alcohol Calculator. Click the down arrow next to the name and click Duplicate. This makes a copy so you don't mess up the original. Now you can enter your recipe. For example, this recipe uses 96% ethanol. It uses 1/3 of a cup of ethanol. You'll need to enter fractions as decimals. The conversions are down here. So 1/3 is 0.33. Change the unit to cups by pressing the down arrow here and select the right one. Then you can enter the other ingredients the same way. Turn any rows you're not using to 0, then the percentage of alcohol will show up here. Will ingredients other than alcohol sanitize my hands? I said this in the last video and it is still true now. No other ingredient apart from a high alcohol concentration is recommended for hand sanitizers. Is alcohol-based hand sanitizer better or soap and water? So the main advantages of hand sanitizer are it's more portable so you can use it on the go, and it tends to be less drying on skin than washing your hands. Apart from that, washing your hands with soap and water is better. Apart from just killing the viruses, it also washes them away. What is the difference between ethyl alcohol and isopropyl alcohol? They are different ingredients. Ethanol or ethyl alcohol has 2 carbons. Isopropanol or isopropyl alcohol has 3. They're very similar, but they don't have exactly the same properties. Ethanol is gentler on skin than isopropanol. In lots of studies, it has been found to be less irritating. Isopropyl alcohol is bigger, and so you generally need a slightly higher amount to have the same effect. So it's recommended that how much ethanol you put in is somewhere above 60 to 70%. Isopropyl alcohol is above 70%. What do you do if your source of alcohol has just high enough concentration to work? I recommend using it as the sanitizer and then moisturizing your hands afterwards. Just remember to make sure that you let the sanitizer stay in contact with your skin for 20 seconds before you moisturize. What do you do if your alcohol is lower than 60% concentration? There isn't really much you can do. You can't mix it with anything to make it a higher concentration. Theoretically, you could distill it, but I don't recommend doing this. If you don't have the necessary skills and equipment to do it properly, it is flammable and setting yourself on fire is much worse than not having hand sanitizer. Just wash your hands. Can you use methylated spirits? Methylated spirits is generally ethanol combined with something else. Depending on the brand, it can contain methanol, and if it does, I do not recommend using that on your skin. If you don't know what the other ingredients are, I recommend asking the manufacturer, and the warnings about different grades of products, cosmetic grade, pharmaceutical grade, all of those still apply. Will detergents work as well as soap for disinfecting your hands? In some places there is a hand soap shortage, so luckily pretty much any cleaning product that foams up is likely to work just the same way. So body wash, dishwashing detergent, shampoo, all of these surfactant containing products should work exactly the same way in killing viruses. As I said in the last video, the coronavirus has a thin lipid envelope around it that soap or detergent can dissolve. This inactivates the virus, plus the soap or detergent can help germs get washed away. How can you disinfect surfaces? So health authorities like the World Health Organization recommend using bleach. One recipe is using 4 teaspoons of bleach in 1 liter of water. When you're using bleach, don't mix it with other household cleaners because it can often produce toxic gases. This includes bleach and vinegar, bleach and ammonia, and bleach with alcohol. You can also use detergent just like with washing your hands. And of course, high alcohol concentrations work as well. I wouldn't recommend using bleach or detergent as a hand sanitizer because these are very harsh on your hands. Vinegar and essential oils are not considered effective for disinfecting your hands or surfaces. What are some ways to boost your immune system to fight off the virus? Eat healthily, exercise, and get enough sleep. There are social media rumors that things like zinc, vitamin C, colloidal silver, vitamin D, echinacea, and elderberry might work. There aren't any approved vaccines or drugs or anything else that are considered effective for treating or preventing the virus. And supplements aren't always harmless. As you might have seen, someone has died from trying to take chloroquine. If you're in a part of the world where you're taking vitamin D because there's not enough sunlight, then keep taking it like you normally would. This isn't a good time to do a detox juice cleanse or a fast. You don't want to limit the nutrients your body has if it has to fight off a virus. It's also not a good idea to suddenly ramp up how much you're exercising. If you didn't exercise before, start gently so that your body doesn't have something extra to deal with. So I hope this video was useful. If you liked it, please leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and check out my blog for more beauty science. Please stay safe, do your part to flatten the curve, try not to share misinformation, and I will see you next time.